When will there be peace?
There's a lot of hate between Jews and Arabs. It's wrong hate.
And how do you make friends with the enemy?
If they will know each other very good, maybe they could be friends.
I learned that they are exactly like me.
What is an alcoholic?
The compulsion to drink is so great, nothing else matters. I'll do anything to get another drink.
And how can this disease affect you?
My mom and my dad used to fight a lot, and me and my brother used to always go up in our bedrooms and cry a lot.
Where can you sing the gospel? And how does this music stir the soul?
Gospel singing is more than fun. It's the gospel.
Find out this week on the show that asks the questions. Nick News.
Just because you want to get along with someone, it doesn't mean you know how. Take the Middle East. In that part of the world, Jews and Arabs have been fighting over land and religion for a long, long time. This year, in the country of Israel, the two sides agreed to have peace. But how do you teach people who've hated one another for years to give each other a chance? In Israel, there is a village called Neve Shalom Wahat al-Salam. That means oasis of peace. This village is an experiment. Half the people who live there are Jewish, half are Arab. Our story takes place in the elementary school, the only school in Israel where Jewish and Arab kids go to school together. The theory is simple. If two kids from different sides can learn to get along, why can't the grown-ups? Israel is a country at the east end of the Mediterranean Sea. It's about the size of Massachusetts. Both Jews and Arabs have lived on this land for hundreds of years. But in 1948, in order to give a home to the Jewish people, the United Nations created the State of Israel, against the wishes of every Arab in the Mideast.
There's a lot of hate between Jews and Arabs, and a lot of it's wrong hate.
And so for the past 45 years, the Jews and the Arabs in Israel have been fighting for the land that both believe is rightfully theirs. To the Arabs, the land of Israel, which was originally called Palestine, is home to the Palestinians. But to the Jewish immigrants who first settled in Palestine at the beginning of the century, God intended Israel to be theirs. For too many people, this is what life in Israel has been like.
The past between Arabs and Jews here in Israel, it's an awful past. We need to work to a better future. I am Sagi, I am Jewish, I am 13 years old, and I live in Neve Shalom in Israel. Neve Shalom, it's a place where Jews and Arabs live together to show that they do not have to fight one another.
I am Shirin Najjar. I'm 13 years old. I'm Arab, and I live in Wahat al-Salam. We look at each other like a people, like a human.
The idea of the place is to talk and to know Arabs.
The leaders, Yitzhak Rabin of Israel and Yasser Arafat of the Palestine Liberation Organization, have been talking for months. In September of 1993, they agreed to stop fighting. The peace agreement calls for Palestinians to govern themselves in certain areas within the borders of Israel. Jews and Arabs will live together, side by side, each with land they can call their own. Now the real work begins.
To declare peace, it's not enough. You can declare peace and still you have to take the hatred out of yourself, the prejudice, the misunderstanding. And this you do only through education.
The country that we will love, she is for us like our mother and our father, the country of the people.
My name is Eti Edlund, and I am one of the two directors in the school in Neve Shalom Wahat al-Salam. In Israel, it's our destiny to have here two people, if we want it or not, if we dream it or not. Our destiny is to live together, so we have to find a way how to do it, and we really do it here.
The purpose of the school is that even people that do not live in Neve Shalom could send their children to here to know the other side and to talk with it.
If they will know each other very good, maybe they could be friends.
My name is Danielle Feingold. I'm Jewish and I am 11 and a half years old. I live in a village called Nataf. In Nataf there are 70 families and they're all Jewish. It was very hard because I didn't understand Arabic before I went to Neve Shalom, but now I know their way of life. I learned that they are exactly like me and like my friends.
Shar! Shar!
When they start first class, Jewish and Arab children learn Hebrew, Jewish and Arab children learn Arabic. Once you get to learn people and their culture, you are more understanding to their feelings and ideas.
My name is Lena, and I'm a Palestinian. I live here in Rafah. The people here is Muslims and Palestinians too. This is my first year in Neve Shalom. At Neve Shalom, we learn to don't hate anyone. That helped to be a real peace.
The city of Jerusalem is 30 miles from Neve Shalom, Wahat al-Salam. Jerusalem is the capital of Israel and the religious center for Muslim, Jewish, and Christian religions. Peace will not be easy here, as in many places in Israel. But there is hope, especially in the children.
I hope in the future to live here, Jewish and Arabic, to live together with friends.
We as children, we have to carry what our parents have decided, the peace, and we have to continue with it. At last, we'll have the peace that I hope that we'll have.
When I'm going to Sagi house, I'm thinking that I'm going to friend house.
It's gonna take a long time and it will be very hard, but it will be good in the end.
We'll be right back after these messages. Now, back to our show.
If you told your friends you spent last Sunday stamping your feet, clapping and singing at the top of your lungs, your friends would probably guess you'd been at a rock concert. But millions of people do this sort of thing every Sunday, only they do it in church. We're talking about gospel music. Gospel music came to us from the African slaves white Americans brought to this country. The slaves put the white man's religion to music, hand-clapping, hip-swinging, heart-wrenching music. Slavery didn't last. Gospel music did. Here now, the 4 generations of the Curry family in Jackson, Mississippi, and the adventurous art of gospel music.
How many know God is just a prayer away? You can call him in the morning. You can call him in the evening. You can call him late at night. God is just a prayer away.
My name is David Curry III, and I play the drums for the Mississippi Mass Children's Choir.
The music is real great, and it really holds the family together.
My name is Della Butler. I've just been singing all my life. I was kind of small. I had prayer meeting every Sunday night. We sang and prayed until the Spirit of the Lord would come in.
Gospel music, in my estimation, came from the slavery times when the forefathers were in the fields. They would look for a better day. You know, they would sing songs that would give them hope. Gospel music is a melody from your heart. That's what I call gospel music. Real melody from your heart.
The Bible said, praise ye the Lord with instruments, and that's where we started involving. We went to the Old Testament and got the formula.
And we've had organs, pianos, guitars, harps, tambourines. We just love music in the whole family.
My grandfather taught my dad to play the organ. My dad was playing at 7 years old. He plays just about all over the world. He's just a great organist.
Gospel is fun. Gospel singing is more than fun. It's the gospel. The Bible said we're going to be singing in heaven forever. No more preaching. We won't have Sunday school no more. We won't have no more Wednesday night services. It'll just be singing there.
See all 5 of my boys in the choir. I have one on the keyboard, one on the drum, one leading the song, and the 2 little ones singing. It's just phenomenal. Gospel music is a joy and a gift, and my family and I will be singing it forever and ever.
Amen for the gospel music.
We've often said that art can be anything you want it to be. But what if you want it to be disgusting? Not too long ago, Universal Studios in Florida held auditions for Halloween. They were looking for people to play the part of the Rat Lady and the Roach Wrangler for their Horror House exhibit. The Rat Lady must occupy a coffin filled with rats for a long time. The Roach Wrangler must stay in a roach-filled kitchen for a long time. The newspaper ad said people who applied for the job must not be easily offended or disgusted. The ad said weird would be good. What follows is proof they got what they wanted. Here are the finalists among the 200 people who auditioned for the part of the Rat Lady and the Roach Wrangler.
And I want you to do a lot of leering, a lot of maniacal laughter, talking to them. They have to have a sense of just looniness about them. What are you doing over there? I would go for the terror, the screaming from the rat ladies.
Help! I can't breathe! They're biting me!
It's acting. You know, you want somebody to scare people, yeah, I'm the guy.
Don't talk back to me. I'm bigger than you are, and I can just like that.
They have to really enjoy what they're doing.
Nobody has experience being buried alive with rats, so I thought, well, what would the ideal candidate have? You just don't get to tell people, I interviewed in a coffin full of vermin that often.
Get these off of me.
We'll be right back after these messages. And now, back to our show.
Even though it's legal, alcohol is a drug, like heroin, like crack. Only more people use it, and not everybody gets addicted to it. But it's estimated that 28 million Americans have at least one parent who's an alcoholic. And the kids of alcoholics are at far greater risk of becoming alcoholics themselves if they make the choice to drink. I know. My father was an alcoholic. So am I. I don't drink anymore, but I still have the disease of alcoholism. I always will. I can't help having the disease, but like any other alcoholic, I am responsible for my recovery. I remember how awful I felt when my daddy got drunk. My own children have told me what it felt like when I did. Our story takes place in the state of Michigan. It's a story of hope.
My name's Jennifer, and I'm 6.5.
I'm Bobby, and I'm 10.
My dad used to drink a lot.
You just get drunk and pass out, and that would be it for the night.
I would get worried that he might die.
It happened every other day.
My name is Herb. I'm Bobby and Jennifer's father. I started drinking when I was 15 years old. And that went on through high school. And then into my adult life, it seemed to be the thing to do. Everybody around me drank, and I thought that was normal. And I didn't know I had a problem because that's all I drank was beer. I didn't drink liquor or anything else, and I didn't use drugs.
My mom and my dad used to fight a lot, and me and my brother used to always go up in our bedrooms and cry a lot.
I'm Kathy, and I'm Bobby and Jennifer's mom. There's a lot of fighting because you can't understand why they can't stop. You can't understand, why don't you just stop drinking? Why are you doing this to us?
When I pick up the first drink, the compulsion to drink is so great, nothing else matters. I'll do anything to get another drink. And I'll say anything. It doesn't matter what it is. It's, I want that drink.
Alcoholism is a disease where once a person starts drinking, they can't stop. People just seem to lose control.
We're going to play a game called the Addiction Man.
My name's Jerry Moe, and I'm a children's counselor. My specialty is to work with children who come from families where there's alcoholism or other drug addiction.
My name is Nicole, and I'm 11 years old. My dad would drink often. My parents got divorced because of his drinking. It was getting out of control, and my mom just didn't want to live with the fighting and arguing. I would be embarrassed to tell my friends because I thought they would laugh at me. So I just never told them about it.
Another feeling that very rarely gets talked about for children of alcoholics is the confusion.
What are some of the problems you have when someone you love isn't free anymore?
Most alcoholic families are characterized by a lot of secrecy and silence. So no one talks about this incredibly large elephant that's living right in the middle of the living room. I mean, it's there. Everybody's dealing with it. Everybody's impacted by it. No one talks about it. What's amazing is here in the United States, there are 28 million children of alcoholics. And yet so many of them feel like they're the only one, and no one else would ever understand. And no one else knows the pain or the suffering or the loneliness that they feel sometimes.
We all come from a family, and somebody in our family has a problem with drinking.
Maple Grove has a program here that's open to children in the community that for once a week for a couple of hours can come and develop some important life skills to help them cope.
I learned at Maple Grove that alcohol and drugs are a disease and how we can cope with it, and that it's okay to talk about it and you shouldn't be embarrassed.
There's an incredible amount of hope. Now, when children begin to learn about alcoholism and share their feelings, so much of what they've been carrying inside, they let go of. I think one of the most important places where kids can go to get help these days is schools.
My name is Amy, and I'm 10 years old. My mom, she drank a lot, and she would get really mean and stuff, and then she would blame us for things that she had did. She drank at least every day. She couldn't stop. She couldn't help herself. I would think it was my fault because she would say about my brother, because my brother was always wild and stuff. She would say, "You drive me up the wall to drink."
We tried telling her to stop drinking, but she wouldn't listen. I just got tired of all the arguing, so I asked my dad if I could move in with him. And so me and my sister moved in.
There's no cure for alcoholism. Once you're an alcoholic, you're always going to be an alcoholic, but there are many people, there's a million people, who've been able to stop their drinking and go on and be the kind of parents and people that they've always wanted to be.
I've been in recovery now for almost 2.5 years now.
Recovery for an alcoholic is a process where a person stops drinking alcohol. Some people get to recovery by going to Alcoholics Anonymous. The only requirement for membership in Alcoholics Anonymous is a desire to stop drinking. So you will find there a number of people who are no longer drinking and are learning some new skills about how to cope with life on a daily basis.
My dad feels much, much better because he doesn't drink anymore.
It takes a lot to recover. It takes complete honesty with yourself, and without that, there is no recovery. When I finally got honest with myself and realized that I do have a problem, then things started getting better. It's offered me a second chance, a chance that I never had before when I was using.
I feel much better because now now we spend more time together. Things have changed a lot.
In this world, there are actually some pretty fine ways to get high that don't involve any drugs. Come with us to the city of Albuquerque in the state of New Mexico to the 22nd Annual International Balloon Fiesta. Here now in 60 seconds is one day in the life of the hot air balloon named Raspberry Sunrise, which does, in fact, sound like a drink. This edition of Nick News is brought to you by hope. Hope is the thing with feathers that perches in your soul and sings the song without the tune and never stops at all. This is Nick News. If you want to know, ask.